I've been using this Whoop band every single day for over 3 months, and this video is my final verdict and final thoughts on whether I choose to daily drive the Whoop or go back to my Apple Watch. Hi, I'm Jaden Fedok, and this channel is dedicated to sports, fitness, and technology. Over the next 10 minutes or so, I'll be talking about this Whoop Strap 3.0 and 5 of the things that I think make it an excellent wearable, along with 5 things that I think need dramatic improvement for it to meet its full potential. But first, it's time for a giveaway, and I'm so excited to announce this. This channel is so close to its 1,000 subscriber goal, and I think this giveaway will be an excellent way to get us over the hump. Now, this is how it's going to work. My Whoop referral link in my last Whoop video that you probably have seen was used over 25 times, which equates to over 2 years of free Whoop membership. Now, I want to share some of that benefit with you, so I will put your referral link into this video so that you can get some of those benefits as well. All you have to do to enter is subscribe to this channel, make sure to like this video, and share it on any social media that you choose: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Instastory, whatever you choose to use. Just don't forget to leave a comment in this video letting me know that you participated in the giveaway and your username on that social media so that we can verify the share. Also, in that comment, make sure to share one of the reasons that you think Whoop is an excellent device for you and why you enjoy it. Okay, so enough of that. Let's talk about the Whoop and the 5 things that I think make it an excellent wearable. Number 1 is activity recognition. Now, I think the Whoop does an excellent job of automatically recognizing the sports that you play, the activities that you do, and after the first time that you do a specific sport like tennis, pickleball, or anything like that, it will start to automatically recognize that sport based on your movements. And I think it does a great job of starting and stopping that workout at the right time. I've only ever had to make a few tweaks to starting and stopping time, but I've never had to change the activity that it logged. That may not be the case for everyone, but in my experience, it did a very good job. Along this line as well, Whoop is continuously adding new sports to make it even easier for you to recognize the sports that you want to play. So pickleball was added and CrossFit was added even just in the last few months that I've been testing the Whoop. That means to me that the team is really focused on making the Whoop as useful as possible to everyone and including even more sports. Also, in this one, I want to give a huge shout out to some of the commenters on my previous video who really helped me understand how the strain coach worked, specifically adding a certain amount of strain and not necessarily adding the exact same linear value into your overall strain for the day. Now, if you want to learn more about that, I would read some of these comments from the last video. I don't know everything about it, but I really appreciate their insights to help me understand why those numbers don't always add up. One of the reasons for that is that the strain that you need to add to get from a 14 to a 16 is not going to be the same as the strain that you have to add to get from a 10 to a 12, just because that overall strain is logarithmic, as I was told. So there you go. The second thing that I love about the Whoop and that makes it an excellent wearable is the sleep tracking. Now, I talked about in my last video, and I'll probably talk about in this one as well, the comfort and the lightness of the band are excellent. Now, when you're trying to track your sleep, having a band that's incredibly comfortable makes a big difference. So I never had to worry about being uncomfortable while I was sleeping with the Whoop band on. One of my favorite benefits of tracking your sleep in general is understanding patterns over time. So I can go to the Whoop Online website to see what those patterns look like over a longer period of time and not just congested to the little app. So I tried to look at those patterns, see if there was maybe a place that I could go to bed earlier, wake up at a different time to improve my recovery over different nights. And I think it's been really helpful to see those patterns over time, and it has really helped me to improve when I go to bed, improve that consistency, and I definitely credit Whoop for helping with that. Now, the third thing on this list is HR broadcast. The reason I put this on the list is because doing activities and sports and other things is the reason you have a Whoop wearable in the first place. So being able to send your HR to Zwift when you're riding your bike, or send it to Strava when you're out for a run is an excellent feature, and I think it's awesome to avoid that extra step of having to put on a chest strap and pair that chest strap when you're doing a different workout. So being able to do all of that here on your wrist is an awesome benefit that I think Whoop does very well. So the fourth thing on this list is a little bit interesting, and I recognize that it's not going to be a benefit for everyone, but for me, not having notifications pinging me on my wrist all throughout the day was actually a benefit. So the difference from the Apple Watch to the Whoop, where the Whoop just sits there on your wrist, immobile all day long, that's kind of nice, and it's nice to be able to focus on work, still keep this on, but not have to worry about those notifications or the temptation. Now, I know I can just turn off notifications on my Apple Watch. That's not what I'm saying. The point is that without the ability, I lose a lot of the temptation to get lost in notifications while I'm supposed to be working. So that was a benefit for me. You don't necessarily have to agree with it, but it made it to the list. So the last thing on the list for the benefits of the Whoop wearable is lightness and comfort. The strap itself is incredibly comfortable, and I think vaults the Whoop into some of the top echelons of a comfortable wearable because of that fact. Strap being comfortable, Overall, the strap being light makes a big difference as well. It's less than half the weight of my old Apple Watch, and it makes a big difference when I'm trying to track sleep, when I'm trying to track running workouts, and I think that's a huge plus that deserves to be on the list of some of the best features that the Whoop has to offer. So since this video is not sponsored, I am free to talk about anything that I want, including all of the negatives and the cons that I think bring the Whoop down a little bit from being the perfect or even the best wearable on the market. Now, the first thing on that list is very common as a critique of the Whoop, and I saw it in comments and DMs and things, but essentially not having a display, not having anywhere that you can even see the time or the battery status just at a quick glance is kind of unfortunate. You can check the battery by double tapping the watch itself, but it's just a couple of lights, so it's not ideal, it's not perfect, but I guess they're saving a lot of battery by not including a display, so they're trying to balance that a little bit, but I would say that's the number one drawback to having the band itself, is it's just a wearable. It's just a band that's tracking your heart rate over time, and it's useful for a lot of the analysis and the features that you get with that HR, but not having anything that's a convenience feature for when you're running or when you're doing anything like that makes it not as useful as some things like the Apple Watch for specific workouts or even for day-to-day work. When I first started wearing my Whoop, compared to the Apple Watch, I checked it probably a dozen times a day, just thinking that I was gonna see the time or a notification or something like that. So it took some getting used to, and I would say I would really love to see on Whoop Strap 4 at least something that can tell me the time, or when I'm doing a specific workout, my average pace, anything that would be useful in the moment. And talking about running, that brings me to the second thing that I dislike about the Whoop, is that it doesn't have GPS included, which means if I want to go for a run and I want to just get out the door, I used to be able to grab my Apple Watch and my shoes, my AirPods, and I was out the door. But with the Whoop, you need to make sure to bring your phone with you because that's what's going to tether any of the GPS tracking. So if you want to see the awesome map on Strava after you're done with your run, which I do, I love checking out the map and adding that to my workout logs. So not having the GPS included in the wearable makes it so that I have to take that extra step and bring my phone, bring my armband, and it's not as comfortable when I'm running. Maybe it's something small and maybe it's not a big deal to a lot of people, but it was a big deal to me not having the ability to go out with just my watch, running shoes, and AirPods. So number 3 on this list is also interesting because it was on my list of positives when I did my initial review 3 months ago, and that is charging. So the innovation of having a charging battery pack that you can just slide onto the Whoop and continue with your work or do whatever you need to do is awesome, and I use it a lot because I can kind of charge it up while I'm working or just sitting at my desk and it doesn't make much of a difference. But the battery pack itself only contains about enough for one single 100% charge. And sometimes if it sits out for a while, it will start to lose that charge over time. So whenever I put the battery pack on, I had to leave it for a considerable amount of time. I would say sometimes it felt like hours that I was sitting there just waiting for it to charge up. So if you're ever in a bind, not having a convenient way to charge it up quickly is kind of a downer. But the innovation and the convenience is good, it takes way too long to charge, and it only holds 100% charge. So if you're using your watch while you're trying to charge it up, it will never get all the way to 100%. So that's what I found. Let me know in the comments if that was different for you, but that was one of my major complaints. So I got a comment after my initial review about swimming with the Whoop band and how if you swim with it and you swim any kind of workout or you're doing more intense sets, that the Whoop band itself would flip over while you were trying to swim. And I had to investigate, so thank you to B. Rochelle for giving that comment and putting me in the right direction. It does do that. If the strap is comfortable, right, not too tight, it will often flip over while you're trying to do a swim workout. And this can definitely be unfortunate and uncomfortable while you're trying to get a workout set in. There is a solution for this, and Whoop sells a Hydro band for $12 for a pack of 2 that you can put over the Whoop itself, and it will cover it with a little silicone that will make it so that it will stay in place while you're trying to swim. But having additional things like that and having to pay for a band and put it on before a swim, it's again an inconvenience that I think is a detriment to the overall Whoop experience. Okay, the final thing on the list of negatives is 100% the membership cost of having a Whoop. Now, the band itself you buy with a membership, and usually they'll give it to you free. In fact, if you use the link in any of my videos for the Whoop, you can get your first free month as well as the strap for free. But every month after that, you'll have to pay almost $30 for the membership to the data itself. You can keep the band if you don't keep up the membership, but everything that's beneficial about the Whoop, the strain, the recovery, and all the numbers come with that membership. Now, I understand that they use the membership money so they can pay for their storage and their algorithms that are calculating all of these important details from your workouts and from your health information, but if I had to choose, I think that I would rather pay up front, so more similar to like an Apple Watch or a Garmin or a Fitbit, and be able to use it as long as I want. Maybe it's just a psychological thing, but having a membership that you know you're going to continue to have to pay over time is just difficult to justify with something like this. But hey, if you want to not pay your membership fee and you want to get that for free because of referral links, don't forget to submit to the giveaway, and you could potentially have your referral link in the description of this video and get the benefits from that. So take a look. Okay, so all of that said, the 10 things, 5 that I like, 5 that I didn't like, it comes down to my verdict of whether I want to continue using the Whoop as my daily driver fitness wearable. And the answer for me is no. I personally think that there are a lot of benefits to an Apple Watch that I don't get on the Whoop. While if I was an elite athlete, which I wish I was, if I was an elite pro athlete that was really dedicated to getting that last little 1 or 2% in each day to make sure that I was performing at peak physical fitness, the Whoop would probably have more advantages there because of what it does with algorithms and analysis of your workouts. However, as more of a casual fitness enthusiast, which I myself am, an Apple Watch gives you more information in the workout. It lets you pick a workout, go do it, and see your average pace, see things like when you're swimming, your laps and your distance. My Swim Pro is an excellent way to do that. Having those features, having those apps takes the experience to the next level. And I think having a fitness wearable that I can use for not only tracking my fitness over time, but also in the moment usefulness is something that I would choose the Apple Watch over the Whoop. Now, I should say as a caveat, if you're still watching this video, that keep in mind there's a different use case for every single person. My use case of a fitness enthusiast may be different than someone who's an elite pro athlete who may need different features and different functionality to do what they do. So everyone's going to be subjective in how that works, but for me, I think I will continue to use the Apple Watch. And if I do ever get to that pro level, maybe I'll come back to the Whoop. So thank you for watching the video. If you want to watch more videos about the Whoop itself, my thoughts, I created this playlist that I think you might like. You can check it out by clicking right here. If you love sports, fitness, and technology and want to see more of my content, click right over here. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks.